Hi y'all, and welcome to the Oklahoma Girls Kitchen. I'm glad that you're with me today because have we got some great recipes for you. It's the perfect weather for it. It is cold outside today, and we're going to be doing meat lovers loving recipes. And we have got lots to offer with those leftovers of meatloaf. So we're going to go ahead and do that along with our peach crumble, which is going to go in the crock pot. How simple is that? So let's get started with our peach crumble first. This is so simple. It's all in one pot. And is it ever so good? If you love peaches, you're gonna love this. So let's go ahead and start with our peach pie filling. And this is just like along in the section where you get the cherry pie fillings and blueberry. I never had really bought peach before until just a couple of years ago. And it is whole peaches that are in it. It's just absolutely delicious. So it's going to take 2 of these for this. We're just going to get those in the crock pot. And this is going to take about 3 to 4 hours on high. So we've got our 2 cans of peach pie filling in. And now we're going to go ahead and put 1 box of white cake mix in. And we're going to go ahead and pour that in on top of it. We're just going to even it out. And I'm just going to spread it out just a little bit to cover all the peaches. Looks pretty good. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and take some butter, and I'm just going to cut like 3 or 4 pretty good slices of it. So I've actually got 5 slices. I'm just going to kind of place it right on top pretty evenly, spread it out. And then on top of this, our final is going to be our walnuts. You can put as many walnuts as you want. I'm going to put about a cup. Just going to kind of spread them out. You can put less or more or none. It will be delicious anyway. We've got our nuts on top. Everything's in it. Our peach pie filling, our cake mix, and our nuts and our butter. So we're going to put it in our crock pot. We're going to turn it on high. And we're going to let it cook for about 3 to 4 hours until it's nice and bubbly. We're going to be ready. We're going to go ahead with our meatloaf. And this is the best meatloaf recipe I think I have ever eaten. So let's go ahead and get started with our hamburger meat. This is just the 80-20, which gives us a little bit of fat and flavor. And we've got 2 pounds of it. And we're going to go ahead and start adding our ingredients to it. So let's go ahead and start mixing up our ground beef. And we're going to go ahead and start adding our seasonings. Let's go ahead and do our garlic powder. And we'll do our onion powder. And to mine, and not everybody does this, but I just love the taste of it, is the ground mustard. And then we have got our burger seasoning. This is just kind of what I put in my hamburger meat to make my burgers with, but it does flavor it because it's got just a little bit of everything in it. And then we're going to do our breadcrumbs. I've got a ½ a cup of the Italian breadcrumbs. And then I've also got a ½ cup of just plain breadcrumbs. Seems pretty dry right now, and it is. Then we have got 2 eggs, and we have got a ½ a cup of milk. And that's going to loosen this up some so we can go ahead and start getting this mixed in really good. Now we're going to add just a dash of the Worcestershire sauce. Do you guys ever have trouble saying that? Because I sure do. So this is where you get to use your hands. And this is why we were given our hands, is because we can just mix so well with them. There's just some things that spoons can't do. So we look like we've got this all incorporated pretty good. And we're gonna go ahead and get this into our loaf pan. And once this bakes, it's gonna bake for about an hour. About that last 10 minutes, it calls for an hour and 10 minutes. We're gonna take it out after an hour and put the glaze on top. I'm gonna show you how to make that glaze, and it is gonna be some good eating. And then, better yet, I'm gonna show you with this leftover meatloaf, what you can do with that. Make it all brand new and great recipes with it. So we're gonna go ahead and get this in the oven, and it's gonna cook for an hour and 10 minutes. So we're gonna go ahead and get this glaze made for our meatloaf. I know it's got a little while to cook, but I wanna show you what this is all about. It's just really 4 simple ingredients. So let's go ahead and get it going. We're gonna go with honey first. This is 4 tablespoons of honey. And then we are going to go with our ketchup. It's 4 tablespoons of ketchup. And I did put a couple of little dashes of the Worcestershire sauce in this, just because I love that stuff. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I do love it. And then we have got some garlic powder. And we have some Dijon mustard. And that's really it. Now we're gonna go ahead and get it all stirred in together. And that honey is just gonna caramelize with that brown sugar on top of this meatloaf. So it's gonna give it this sweet, beautiful glaze, and it is going to be so scrumptious. You're just gonna absolutely love it. You know, there's all different versions of meatloaf, but this has to be my very favorite of all of them. So for all you meatloaf lovers, this is the prize right here. I can't wait to taste it. I mean, I've been smelling it cook for an hour, and my lips have been smacking together because I am so ready. So here we go. I mean, look at this. You know, you can't go wrong with meatloaf. And I just remember all the Sundays that we had this and what Mama did with the leftovers. So here it is. This is so moist. Those breadcrumbs, they keep it moist for sure. It's got a little hint of that mustard in it. Tastes really, really good. I like that mustard flavor in there. Like I said, everybody has their twist, but this is so good. Okay, so remember when we were talking about the leftover meatloaf? I'm gonna give you some examples of the recipes that I have made with leftover meatloaf. Don't throw it away, it just gets better and better. So I would take my bun, and I would take cold meatloaf, yes, cold meatloaf or room temperature meatloaf, and I would put me a little bit of mustard or mayonnaise on it, and I would make the most wonderful meatloaf sandwich you've ever had, or just on white bread. You can also take it and make meatloaf tacos, spaghetti. There is tons of recipes. You can put it in the big shells with cheese on top. Don't get rid of your meatloaf. I mean, it just gets better and better. And this meatloaf sandwich is probably about as good as it gets. It is good. Well, I think this has been a successful meatloaf peach crumble day. I am one happy little camper, and my belly is going to be full before the night is over. Until I see you next week in this Oklahoma Girls Kitchen, I wish you a teaspoon of love and a heap of happiness. So I'll see you next week. Bye.